Hi, I'm Tisha.
I'm Loren.
And this is the Open Booked podcast. Today, we're talking about Home is Where the Bodies Are by Jeneva Rose. And just kind of recapping 2024 and all of the craziness.
So much. And you forget about it until you hear, I don't know if you've come across any of those, 2024 recap videos on TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, that was this year? Or last year now, my bad. It just feels like so long ago when you look back, but the amount of insanity, I think nothing surprises us at this point. We're millennials.
No.
Literally, you can tell us there's even more aliens or, the crazy stuff, and we're like, bet.
Mutant sharks in the ocean.
Yeah. We're like, okay, cool. Didn't have that on my bingo card, but I'm not shocked.
The fact that we have bingo cards for the last 4 years is just wild.
Let's be real. It's probably been longer than that. So let's think about it. I was born in the 90s. You were born in the 90s. We were told the world was going to end in 2000. Okay. Flash forward a year, we have 9/11. Then we have a literal war versus the Middle East, okay? And then we have, the Mayan calendar stops at 2012. Do you remember that?
The world's going to end again.
The world is ending December something, 2012.
12.
And
12.
12. Okay, so the best part of this is I graduated in 2013, and our class slogan was, "We survived the end of the world." You can't even make this shit up. But then if you look back on it, no one's gonna get it.
Yeah, no.
It was just back, you had to be alive.
Yeah.
And hear it. And then, of course, COVID. And, I just remember when COVID first happened being like, is this a movie? Or is this, am I in a simulation? There's no way I can't walk out of my house and go see a movie or go to the Mexican restaurant. I just couldn't comprehend it.
But literally there was a movie about, all of it. So
there was!
It was
there was! To the T that it was from a pig or bat in China. Literally to a T.
Yeah, so that alone kind of amplifies our distrust of authority of any kind. And just, it makes it that much harder to be like, oh yeah, let me plan something 10, 15 years in advance. This is when I'm going to retire. Or this is when I'm going to do this or that. You can't plan the next week because literally aliens could invade tomorrow and the government would be like, that's just a training for the Army or the Navy or Marines, somebody. That's just a training. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Here. Literally. I get some things being kept secret because the general public, honestly, there are some sensitive things that I'm like, okay, I know some real worry warts but sometimes I think what they come up with in their heads is way worse than what's actually going on if they would just fucking tell us. That's my opinion.
100. Yeah.
So, anyways, there's our government complaint session. Weekly subscribe. So what are you reading? Same thought. You go first.
Okay. I am reading The Reunion by Megan Quinn. I'm listening to it, and I'm still trying to finish up My December Darling. Was that Lauren Asher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not good?
It's slow going.
What was the name of the book you were reading?
My December Darling. The Reunion.
I have it.
Yeah.
I didn't know I had it. Okay. It's going to be a problem. I need a spreadsheet. So I just finished Home is Where the Bodies Are yesterday. So good. I am glad that was my first complete read of 2025. It was refreshing. We'll get into it. But I am determined. I have a couple of books lingering that I've either been listening to or reading for a bit, and I'm getting a clean slate. So I'm gonna finish Mrs. Claus and The Nightmare Before New Year's, and I'm going to finish this vampire book that I was listening to on.
Oh, I saw that on your
Everand.
Goodreads.
Honestly, I did it again. I think I'm the problem. It's like a series, But it makes sense, so I'm guessing it's another one of those that could be standalones, but I'm like, why do I keep fucking doing this? Anyways, it's because Everand has so much random shit coming and going. I'm convinced that's because all of our issues with this have been on Everand.
Oh yeah. For sure.
It's 100% them, and I'm just complaining. I'm in a complaining mood today. Sorry, guys. So yeah, that's what I'm determined. After that, I think I'm gonna start, which I'll probably finish both of those today. I'm very close. I think I'm gonna start You Shouldn't Have Come Here by Jeneva Rose, because that's the only book of hers I haven't read. I've read all the other ones. So
that
I
has
can
a
say
house
I've
on
read
the
them
front,
all.
right?
Yes.
That one's really good.
You've read that one?
Yeah. My Goodreads said I hadn't, but I know I did because I remember the end.
Anyways, I found the book. I was pulling it up.
Yes, it's so good.
Okay, good. The first book of hers that I read was One of Us is Dead.
I think I told you to read that one because I was like,
you did.
Holy fuck, the craziness of Southern women and murder.
Okay, so you guys listening, we are the kind of readers that read a lot of fucking books, and sometimes we're like, what just happened? We forgot. That is one book that lives in my head rent-free! There's some that just stick out to you. I'm sure even if you don't read very many books, you're gonna have a favorite. You're gonna have one that even if you didn't like it, you think about it. And you're like, man, that's one of those books for me. It's probably a top 10.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
And I'm like back in the thriller mood. I've read enough light, fluffy, weird. Wait, did I talk about the mean one last week, or did I talk about that drunk at New Year's?
I think you talked about it at New Year's. I think you mentioned it last week, just that you were reading it or something, and then, yeah.
Okay. Anyways, I'll finish this, and we have to talk about the mean one. Like, we cannot not talk about it. Anyways, I'm gonna read You Shouldn't Have Come Here, and then I'm gonna jump back into my third or fourth reread of Fourth Wing, because it is almost Onyx Storm time, my friends, and my TikTok is full of it. I'm so excited. We need to talk about if we're doing a midnight thing or not. I don't know what day of the week that is, so we need to talk if you want to do something. It's the 21st. Oh, that's a fucking Tuesday. Nah.
No.
I pre-ordered it on Audible and I pre-ordered it on Amazon, so I have two. I'm gonna go ahead and get it on Kindle too. I'm just gonna fucking have it, okay? Because last release I was very lucky and I got the beautiful Iron Flame sprayed edges, no issues. Oh my god. So many people had issues. Pages were upside down, misprints, because they were in such a rush to get it out. This one they've had more time. Oh, yeah. But I was like, I don't want any chances. Yeah. And my husband will be dying to read this too, so he's gonna steal the audio. And so I'm gonna have to, I don't know, I need to take the day off work, I think.
It's Onyx Storm Day.
Serious.
I have to take the day off.
It's Onyx Storm Day. I don't know if I can, it's big, I don't know if I'll read it a whole day, but anyways, yeah, so it's almost that time. I'm sure you're gonna be hopping into, you're gonna pop that Fourth Wing cherry this week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you excited?
Yeah. But also nervous because I've seen so much like theories and all of the things about Onyx Storm. So I'm like, I don't know who these people even are, but okay, sounds fun.
I think Zayden might get up there with Suit Daddy for you. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. But also, like I say, my husband reads. I think I've mentioned that too. But like, this is a book that has some smut. It's romantasy, dragons, badass, but also like a dude can read it. And like when you get into ACOTAR, you get to Cassian at the end, and you're like, this is for women. Mm-hmm. This is for women. But this book is like, it has a little bit of that. It's not Fade to Black by any means, but it also has like such a good story that like I can talk about it with my husband and he's into it, and then we have other friends that are. It's just, I feel like it's just touches all genres, if that makes sense. Yeah. And I'm excited to be able to talk about it with you because I feel like you have read so many more books than me. I've been excited to have one but I want to talk about it. Okay, should we talk about our reading goals for this year? What we set them at on Goodreads? You go first.
I set so last year my goal was 150 and I barely made it. I had less than 12 hours left when I finished my 150th book for the year. So I was like, I felt really rushed in the last couple months and there were several times I panicked. So I took it way down to 120, which really thinking about it, it's only 30 books less, but it's only 10 books a month. So I was like, that's doable. We read 4 books a week
Mhm.
or 4 books a month on the pod, and I can fit in 6 extra, no problem. Hopefully.
Yeah. There's there's some weeks I feel like I'll bust out 4 or 5 books
hmm
because I don't have a lot of calls or I'm making a lot of candles. Like that's when my prime time is. But then there's weeks when I'm like, haven't even read one book.
Yeah.
So it just ebbs and flows of life. Like I'm traveling next week.
hmm
We're going on vacation. Our flight there is actually 3. Oh, I didn't realize it, but you know when you try to be cheap,
Yeah.
that's what fucking happens. But that means I have a full travel day, so I'm gonna bust out a couple books probably.
Yeah.
So it's just how life works. I also set mine at 120. I had it at 100 last year. I hit it way early. I didn't hit 120, but I kind of took my foot off the gas at the end of the year. Had some time off, spent time played video games. Honestly, let's be real. I started playing Call of Duty with Tisha's husband and my husband and our friends in Florida. But anyways, yeah, so I kind of took my foot off the gas because I had hit that goal. So I know I could have easily done 120. I think I did at 114, something like that. So I could have easily done 120, so I set mine at 120 as well. Now, this is what I'm saying. If I don't hit it, I'm not going to stress about it. I'm a very type A goal oriented type of person, and that's one thing I want to not be so psycho. So, you know me, I'm an itinerary, I'm a links, I'm a this. Okay, my vacation next week, I just have to do a little humble brag here. My vacation next week, I have 3 full days with nothing planned. Not even restaurants planned. Nothing. I've looked at no menus. I'm freeballing, and it feels scary.
Yeah, that's kind of how ours
So,
was. Like we day of just like just looked up what's close to us and then just kind of went with it. And it was
yeah.
nice to not feel like
It really,
rushed or worrying about
yeah.
when something was going to open or close or just going.
Yeah, what you're in the mood for. Because I feel like when I plan stuff, I'm like, I wake up and I'm like, oh my god, we drank way too much last night. Or we ate this food that isn't settling because we're in a different country. You know what I mean? Like, just life. And you don't account for that in an itinerary.
Yeah.
As much as I love a good itinerary, we did take one trip in 2021 where Jesse was like, we're not even booking hotels. Like, you need to learn. He pretty much was like, you need to chill the fuck out. Which, you know, you obviously know my husband and I need someone like him to call me on that, or else I'm unbearable. I'm very aware. I'm very self-aware. He was like, no, I said, he said, you pick where we fly in, where we fly out, and we're just gonna wing it. So we flew into Jacksonville, Florida, and then flew out of Key West and just drove down the whole A1A like that Kenny Chesney song. And we were like, oh, cool, we're 15 minutes from Miami. Let's get a hotel in Miami. Oh, cool, we're by Daytona. We're in West Palm Beach. Like, we did it as we went. Now, the hotels were a little bit more expensive that way, I will say. But we were never rushed because we had like 8 days to get to Key West.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. We were like, okay, let's get on Yelp and find like the closest restaurant with good reviews. Or we're feeling seafood. We're feeling Mexican. You know, like it was freeing, but also there's a part of me that's always going to fight that, like, just naturally. So the compromise is I plan some days, I leave some days open.
Yeah.
Which works. Anyways, that was a lot of talking. We got our goals. Okay. I have a couple of topics, but first let's discuss this insane weather we're supposedly about to get in a few hours.
Yeah. Jeremy said it's not even supposed to be cold enough for it to snow until 3. So I don't know. Everybody's calling and stressing, and our milk deliveries were reflecting that. Like every day, you know, the week before Christmas, we had 1 or 2, maybe 3 trailers that would be overweight because, you know, max weight for a truck is 43,500 pounds. You know, we could move things around. It wasn't a big deal. Literally 8 out of 14 trailers, 12 out of 14 trailers. Like all of our stuff was overweight for the last 3 days of this week. And it has been insane. And then I was looking at the thing and it said it was all going to be like above us on, on the map. So I'm like, are we even really going to get anything? We're not going to have any accumulation. It's not going to be cold enough long enough. If anything, I'm potentially worried about, it rains and then it freezes overnight,
ice.
Black ice. So
yes, that's really all I'm worried about.
Yeah.
If y'all are listening and don't know what she's talking about with milk, if you live in the South, okay, apparently this isn't a thing anywhere but the South. Okay, number one, we do get snow. We do. It's not often, and it's not, we get at least one good snow a year. I know that's not a lot for, like, you're listening in Colorado,
Or New York.
Or New York, like, we do get at least one good snow a year. It's always January or February. We don't really get, like, the super cold temps until after Christmas. And it's like 5-6 days that people are out of school because we aren't equipped to handle it. Like I said, we get it, but I don't know if it's just not often enough that the state, like in the roads, oh my god, it's a joke. Okay, like the salts, the chemical, whatever they do, it's a joke. But one thing Southern women do is buy all of the milk,
and
bread, and eggs at a store. Okay, do you usually keep that much milk and bread? Or, like, I always have milk because I make hot cocoa all the time.
Same.
I always have milk. So it's frustrating for me to go and actually get milk and it's all out. Like, if you go to Walmart today, I guarantee you
every person,
none of them have any milk.
Yeah, every person there, if they were able to get it before the cooler was empty, every person has bread, milk, and eggs in their cart.
I get it. It's like, especially since I'm doing a lot of baking at home, it is like the main
Staples,
not bread though. I get like flour, sugar, milk, and bread. Or sorry, flour, sugar,
milk,
eggs, and you can pretty much bake all different kinds of bread with like other little side. I don't know. Maybe you want to be able to make sandwiches. I don't know.
Probably, yes. Just like easy things: cereal, sandwiches. You can make soups with milk.
Yeah,
like tomato soup.
I'm making tomato soup for dinner. A roasted one with all farm fresh vegetables. I'm excited.
Yeah, somebody posted that in one of the mom groups yesterday, and I was like, that comes from a scarcity mindset because you think you're going to be trapped in your home, and without power, sandwiches, cereal are the easiest things to eat. But knowing that milk deliveries are every other day, bread deliveries are sometimes daily, they're not going to run out unless you're hoarding, which we should. I don't know how people aren't learning this from 2020, hoarding fucking toilet paper enough for 73 years for your family of 2. I don't get it. But it's a scarcity mindset. People think they're going to be trapped in their homes for months on end somehow because the electric company can't get to you or something. Like, yes, 2011 scared us big, and we had people without power for like a month.
I was one of them.
You could still get out to the store. You could still leave your things outside if you need to, refrigerate them. Like, there's no need for that in 2024, and people just can't get that out of their mind that, oh shit, there's a storm coming. I need to hunker down and load up on everything that I might need for the next year.
Yeah, it's insane. And like the fact that there had to be police officers at the toilet paper aisles during COVID tells me what I need to know about humanity at this point.
Yes.
So,
and then,
anyways,
then at that time I was working, and I was working at JB Hunt, and my customer was Procter and Gamble, which was toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies, and I have a picture somewhere. The line to the toilet paper plant for trucks to pick up was 12 miles long. You could see over hills and hills and hills. Like, it was insane because the demand was so high.
Yeah, and then they started limiting people's meat purchases, and I'm like, okay, there's no restaurants. I am just me and my husband meal prepping for a week, and I have to go to multiple stores to get what we need. What about families of 3, 4, 5, 6? Like, it's just us two trying to cook at home because there's no restaurants, and I can't even get all them. I had to go to the Mexican stores, which was great. The food was great.
It's much better.
But, like, that's where we were getting our meat, because Anyways, we could talk about COVID for 10 episodes
Yeah.
probably. But anyways, I just got a notification. The reason I added this on our agenda, I got a notification that Arkansas like issued a state of emergency already. I'm like, what? Is this a joke? So, like, I've gotten a lot of weather alerts, which, hell, it's too windy. I get a weather alert. It's foggy.
Mm-hmm. It just started raining here again.
It was a plane. You know, I hear those all the time. Feel free to cut this out if you want, but that one was super loud, and one of my, like, fears is that one's gonna hit my house. You know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what if there's a new pilot? Like, they do
Yeah.
school out of this airport.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's like one. So when they are really loud, I'm like, is this how I go?
On camera.
See the line? Put this on the dark web if so. Yeah, so I got an alert. Jesse, my husband, works for Walmart in transportation, and his area is like Kansas City, like Iowa, all that, okay? He's like, the truck, it's shut down.
Yeah.
I saw videos of the cops in Kansas. It's like, there's no snow or nothing. It just got cold so fast after the rain. The interstate is covered in black ice.
Yep.
Like, there was a cop running and then slid and, like, video down. I was like, just so you guys see what you're driving on. And I was like, oh, shit. That's the only thing I really get concerned about. If it's snow, shit, I'll drive anywhere in snow. I don't care. It's ice that's scary.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I'm really worried about. So I'm interested to see if they call the schools in advance. Because since they have those, like, remote stuff, I feel like they'd be calling them way easier than when we were kids.
Oh, for sure. And which is weird because they already have, 5 days built in every year, 5 snow days, plus an additional 5 days if they could, like, finagle, something else around. But we used all 10 of our days last year. So they had to go an extra 45 minutes every week for 5 weeks. It was weird. I was like, okay.
That's better than adding days, I think.
For sure. So, which the first grader doesn't bring his Chromebook home, but the 6th grader obviously does. And I am apparently a bad parent and didn't realize they don't go back to school tomorrow. They don't go back till Tuesday. I was like, oh shit, I was about to like get you up and send you on your way tomorrow. And that's not what's happening.
I would have thought they went back tomorrow too.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I swear I looked at the calendar and it said tomorrow, and then I got an email last night. It's like, hey, we'll see you Tuesday. I was like, oh, shit, glad you sent that, because I would have been sending them on their way tomorrow.
And they'd have been like, Mom, I could have slept in and played Roblox all day.
Literally. I think that's what they're doing right now. Playing with.
Yeah, I just know that from when we were there and Kaylin kept asking Jeremy for the password because he ran out of time.
Yes, always.
Man. But yeah, so we'll let you guys know what the weather turns out to be. I don't know if it's going to be anything, but we'll see. No matter what, we are getting extreme cold that we are not used to, and I will only be leaving the house for mandatory purposes, and my dog's bathroom breaks are going to be limited. They're going to have to hold it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll play inside. Okay, yeah, should we talk about the elephant in the room being the New Orleans New Year's terror attack? Like, what the actual... They're calling it a terrorist attack, but it was like an American Green Beret, right? Or was that the Trump Tower person?
Both of them.
Was a Green Beret.
Both of them.
Okay, so they were both like
same,
veterans.
Yeah, same base.
Military base.
Yeah. And magically, I gotta find me one of these because I didn't know that was a thing, and I don't think it's real, obviously. But I gotta find one of them fireproof passports to identify myself in case my Cybertruck goes up in flames.
Yeah, I saw all you could see was that left. I'm like, what is going on? But the New Orleans guy, obviously, I mean, I think the Cybertruck killed one person, but the New Orleans guy obviously was much more...
Devastating.
Devastating, that's a good word. I was trying to not be insensitive. No, it was very, very bad, and it could have been a lot worse. Thankfully, I don't know if you heard, I just heard this yesterday, that when the cops shot his ass down, they accidentally shot the switch to the bombs, so they didn't go off.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, he had like a detonator on him, and in the shootout or whatever, they shot that. And so if they wouldn't have, he probably could have
detonated somehow.
Or it was on a timer. I don't know. Like, I always picture like 10 seconds and you have these switches to choose from for movies, you know? But no, I mean, it's a devastating event. I'm shocked that it was what it was. I think it's even more hurtful that they were Americans, if that makes sense. I just feel like it's more personal.
Yeah.
You know, like if your husband does something to you or some random stranger, it's like if he does it, it's way worse because it's like it's home. Yeah. It's personal. That's how I think of it anyways. It's even worse. Like if it would have just been some random person from ISIS or Hamas or whatever organization that hates us, I would have been like, it sucks, but it's like, it's extra hurtful.
Yeah, and not even just like an American, but a veteran. Like, you served our country.
Green Beret. Yeah,
you served our country. You defended our rights and protected us from enemies, foreign and domestic, and then you became a domestic terrorist. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and like, I get like being upset and wanting to make a statement. You can do that on, it's literally 2025. The social media platform is insane. You wanted to get some shit out there, you could have easily made a TikTok and I guarantee you it would have went viral.
Oh yeah.
I don't understand having to murder innocent people as a way to make a statement. I will never understand that, but since the beginning of time, that's what people think they have to fucking do. Yeah. Anyways, it's devastating. They are both dead, obviously. I think the country's kind of worried. Is there more coming? Is it a bigger group? Because obviously they were coordinated. The Airbnb the New Orleans guy was staying in burnt down. The other guy's wife and kids are shocked. I don't know if you heard about that. Like, they had no clue. So now it's like, okay, I'm sure the government knows more than they're telling us, but are there a bunch of other people involved? And could this be like little stuff all over the country? I think everyone's just kind of scared, especially with an inauguration coming up and so much uproar about the election in general. I think we're starting 2025 off on a little bit of a scary, somber note, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was driving to work yesterday and I saw the flags at half mast and I was like, what is today? I was like, oh, it's because of the terror attacks. Which
also, Jimmy Carter died, so they were half mast for that. Oh. I think when an old president dies, it's like there's like so many days they do it.
I think it's 3.
Yeah, so I'm sure it's that, and then the New Orleans and Vegas.
Which, I mean, kind of going back to Luigi, like, this is clearly terroristic. What Luigi did was targeted. It was one person. It was not a mass casualty. It was not a massive threat to anyone except for this single person. So how is he being charged with terroristic threatening? And I don't know if I sent it to you, but the way they had him like doing such a big perp walk with so much police presence, they're comparing it to Lee Harvey Oswald.
It looks like a scene out of a movie. Yeah, they made it look like a fucking movie. His lawyer was arguing that too. Like, I was thinking about this. I wonder if it was because they were afraid of public people coming out and they could have done it more privately, but the amount of police presence with ARs, I guarantee you that was for other wannabe vigilantes. Like, that was what
I don't think anybody would go after him, is the thing. Like,
no, they'd go after the cops to free him.
Oh, yeah.
I know I had the same. I'm just playing devil's advocate. But no, it was dramatic. It literally looked like Pablo Escobar getting transferred from like Mexico to you. Like, it just looked like fucking.
It was insane.
Theatrical.
Yeah. Yeah. She said, or she argued that he's not getting, justice. He's not getting a fair shake at innocent until proven guilty. They are treating him like a terrorist right now. And just seeing the comparison to Lee Harvey Oswald, who, there are so many conspiracies that he was the fall guy for undercover whatever that took out JFK and all of that. So I'm like,
this is starting to look a little familiar. I've said this before. When Trump gets in office, he better release the JFK shit like he told Joe Rogan he would do, because I want to know.
Same. And while you're at it, just the moon landing. That'd be great.
Please just confirm that I'm right.
Yes.
Because I know I am. 9/11, I don't know if it's been long enough, but we need to talk about that one too.
Yes.
Tinfoil hats on.
It's been 24 years.
Makes me I remember specifically where I was when that happened.
Same.
And I was little. I'm not gonna lie. I was in school, but like we all got sent home early. Everybody was wearing flags. Like, I will say one thing about tragedy is it really brings Americans together, and I hate that it has to be tragedy that does it. Because you don't care about race, you don't care about gender, you don't care about political party. Like, we're just all Americans at the end of the day, and that's how it should be all the time.
Yeah.
And it's sad that it takes 9/11 or this New Orleans attack or
even
I don't know,
Helene.
the Olympics. Yeah, or Helene. Like, that people come together. Like, it should be like that all the time.
Yeah.
That's my TED Talk for the day.
Yep.
Okay, let's pick our favorite WTF moments from 2024.
I'll let you go first.
I have one favorite and then an honorable mention that relates to the book community. I am not going to talk about Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively, It Ends With Us, because technically I'm counting that as a 2025 because I think we'll see a trial this year. Okay? So that's off my roster. My favorite moment, and you're going to laugh so hard because this is so dumb, is probably Ray Gun at the Olympics.
It was so hilarious. And even the aftermath.
Top tier. The aftermath, top tier. Honestly, I don't know if I told you this, but on Call of Duty, the game I play, when you get the top 3 at the end, you like stand there in your character and you get to do cool dances. Mine does the ray gun dance. She even like flops on the ground. I literally, and every time I crack myself up, Jesse gets I'm literally about to cry. My husband gets so annoyed because he's like, you do the same dance every time. It's just so funny. Okay.
Oh, man.
My honorable mentions are the fact that criminals do illegal activities and the book community wants to fuck them. Okay? Specifically, the one dude with the tattoos and Luigi. I just thought those are the biggest, like, girls, you okay moments that I've had. I think it's hilarious. Like, do I think Luigi's good looking? Yeah, of course he is. But I'm not, like, asking for Rex in the book groups like some of these girls be doing.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, let's hear yours. I know you were having a hard time deciding.
Mine's not funny, though. Like, the only thing I can think of
it doesn't have to be funny.
that I literally was like, what the actual fuck for the year was finding out that Kay Granger, who is serving as a congresswoman or senator, somebody in office, elected office, she was just elected 2 years ago, was found in December after missing for 6 months, not showing up for her job to vote for anything, in a dementia assisted living home because she can't leave to go vote or do anything because her dementia has progressed so far that she has no idea who she is, where she is, what she's doing. Like,
wait, I didn't know about this. What state is she for?
Texas.
Really? They probably have a few because they're so big. I think the Senate, every state has 2, and then the House of Representatives depends on the population, so it'd probably depend on if she's a senator
I think...
What's her name?
Kay Granger.
Oh, yeah, there she is. Former. She's not... she's old.
Yeah. So, clearly she had something of dementia 2 years ago when she was elected
anyways?
Yeah. And she didn't have the ethical thought process, I guess, to withdraw herself from that power because then she can't collect a paycheck.
Yeah, she's in the House of Representatives. She's District 12 of Texas is what it was.
Yeah. that was my biggest whoa. So maybe we need to have if someone doesn't show up to 2 votes in, wherever they need to go to do their voting, they're canned.
Apparently she used to be the mayor of Fort Worth, so she's from, Dallas area. There is apparently, this has got me on a whole thing, 2 other representatives who missed significant numbers of votes. There's 2 that missed more than her. Um,
And they got another pay increase
oh,
this year.
he had cancer. Okay, he has an excuse. And then there's another guy
But
had
it's
a
like
stroke.
it's like
They're all
step down.
medical issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's if you have a medical issue, you should not be voting for the laws of my country. You should be focusing on getting yourself better.
Yeah. Come back.
Especially a serious one. Dementia, cancer, stroke.
Pretty serious.
Those are all
Yeah.
very serious.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, that is a big what the fuck moment.
Yeah.
Okay, last order of business before we dive into this book. Justin Baldoni. We're going to probably talk about this a little bit every week. I think last week we both kind of shared our thoughts. We thought Blake was a mean girl. We recorded, just so you guys know, I know the episode just came out. We recorded before Justin Baldoni sued the New York Times, okay? We had said, even with all Blake's receipts, that we thought they were both pieces of shit, pretty much, was where we determined. I think I've changed a little bit. I don't think Justin's as big of a piece of shit as she is a big a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I love that he sent the actual screenshots of the full text messages and proved that she had altered them, like removing emojis and changing the context. Like you and I talked about how we could do that with our conversations and make it look sus. And they obviously did that. This is what I want to know right now. What the fuck is going on in Blake Lively's head that she thinks she can get away with this? Has no one just had the balls to stand up to her because she's a Nepo baby? Like, is he the first person that's like, no, I will not bow down?
Probably. Because between her and Ryan's money, everybody else just falls in line. It's like going against Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Yeah. Did you watch the roast of 2024 on Netflix?
No. I saw it yesterday and thought about it, but I didn't.
It was okay. There's a few really funny parts, but there's that girl who at the end was like saying bye and was like, "Thank you, Beyonce, I love you, Beyonce." And it just cracked me up. She's a comedian, obviously, just making a joke, but
speaking of that,
that
did
made
you
me
see
think of
Niall, was it Niall Horan, the one that went
that.
off in Mexico?
It's not it was Liam.
Liam, yeah. Do you see that he had done something against Beyonce like 3 weeks before?
No.
And of course, conspiracy people are like, "Oh, Beyonce got to him."
Honestly, the state or whoever, the country, Argentina, pressed charges on like several of the hotel workers. Did you see that? Because apparently his manager or someone was in town. He had been clean for a while. And his texts to him were like, "Bring me this." And brought a bunch of drugs. They hired sex workers, got insane, and apparently had drank like the amount of alcohol that he drank. I think it was like 2/5 within 12 hours. I don't know. It was like, to me, was like, oh my God. I don't remember the exact, so guys, don't come at me for that. But it was an insane amount of alcohol, and then on top of the drugs, and I think he just went crazy. But I think they think someone pushed him out the balcony.
I've heard stories that it was the guy, the bellhop? No, what is it? Yeah. I guess Liam had said something offensive to him, and he was gonna leave, and then like rushed back and shoved him.
And they had like kept him locked. So I think that's part of the issue too, that they'd like kept him locked in his room. And so they were like, if he wasn't locked in his room, he wouldn't have jumped. Anyways, I think because he was getting violent, I mean, obviously I saw the pictures. He smashed everything in there.
Yeah. But when you're on that many drugs and that much alcohol, you have no idea what you're doing or what's happening.
Yeah. I mean, I just know, like, the feeling of being drunk. I don't know the feeling of, like, hard drugs. But I can only imagine being drunk with something insane would just make you insane. Like, because sometimes I'm drunk and I'm just, like, fall on the ground. And then the next day I wake up and I'm like, why does my back hurt? You know? Like, I can imagine if you have millions of dollars and you're on something, you're like, let's smash this TV! You know, like, very Motley Crue style.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Okay, should we talk about the book now? Enough of, yeah. Okay. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I didn't do it again. I forgot to do it at the beginning.
Okay, we're doing it now.
Yes.
We caught it before we dove in. Spoiler alert for Home is Where the Bodies Are by Queen Jeneva Rose. Also, I just want to show this book has red.
Yes.
Right
Oh, you got to read the blurb from Lisa Jewell on the front.
Oh, Lisa Jewell says, an emotionally charged, twisty, and haunting thriller you won't soon forget.
Love
so
it.
You know it's good.
Because I love Lisa Jewell for her like thriller, mystery, murder mysteries. She's one of my favorite authors. And for her, like I told Loren, I was like, for her to be the blurb that Jeneva picked to put on the front, love. Like immediately.
One thing I wanted to start adding as well when we talk about these books is where we were able to find them, just so that if you guys want to find them, come back, once you've read it to listen to the rest of the pod. 2 options on this one included with memberships. If you have Everand regular membership, right? Or did it make you do it on the premium?
It was regular, but that could change tomorrow. Because I was in the middle of reading that other book and it just kicked me out.
Okay, yeah. So we're TBD on Everand, but it's currently right now it's on there. And then if you have Spotify Premium, I think I've talked about this before. I have a family one with Jesse. It's $10 a month, and we both get Spotify. But we each get 10 hours a month of audiobooks, which is about 2 books regular sized for me. Mm-hmm. And so I was able to listen to it on Spotify. I originally thought Jeneva was doing it, but she just did the acknowledgments or the prologue and the acknowledgments. But the audiobook author or reader was one of a classic, I don't remember their name, from a Coho book that we like.
Yeah, anything she narrates, love immediately.
The guys' voices as well, I've heard in several other books. I feel like the audio was very, very well done on this book.
Narrated by January Lavoie. I think that's the one that did Reminders of Him. Cassandra Campbell, Brittany Presley, and Andrew Iden.
Okay. I've definitely heard his voice. I think he did Little Brother. Okay, so we kind of answered my first question here. Which narrators? I liked the girl who was Beth. That's the one you're talking about, right? Or no, the one you're talking about is Nicole.
Yeah, the addict.
Honestly, I just feel like they all kind of complemented each other really well and did well with the personality of each character. So I don't necessarily say I have a favorite. I just think the audiobook casting for this, if that's what they call it, audio was great.
So it wasn't January. So maybe it's Brittany Presley. They call her a reciter, not a narrator, which I think is weird.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk about the book in general. Yeah. Did we like it?
Yeah, it was Brittany Presley.
Brittany Presley, okay. I gave it 5 stars. What did you give it? And those are rare for me.
Yeah, 5.
See, our tastes are so similar. Okay, loved it. I think I told you this when I finished it. I figured out who did it. Now, the details, I did not.
No,
so the whole reveal at the end was great because like I said, I knew from the very first time. Okay, let's just start again by saying spoilers, guys. If you haven't read this book, I'm about to spoil the fuck out of it. Okay. Very first time Michael's entitled, have to go take care of business, blah, blah. I didn't necessarily know about the little girl at this point, but I got immediate red flags and couldn't stand him throughout the entire book. Mm-hmm. Okay, so then when he was keeping Nicole's secrets from Beth, and then talking bad about Beth in his own internal monologue, but then acting like she was the smarter one, I'm like, he's playing a game here. And then when he was trying to talk, when he found out that they weren't splitting the house and was trying to, I'm like, okay, he knows something, especially when it came out that he said Mom told him not to come back and he left when Dad left. I said, okay, I 100% think he killed the dad. That was the thing I was solid on from the very beginning.
Yeah.
I was like, even if he didn't kill the first little girl, he killed the dad. My first theory, you're going to laugh at this, was actually little boy Michael had a crush on that girl. I never thought the dad did it on purpose. I knew the dad was protecting somebody. But I thought it was the girl's dad at first, Lucas's dad.
Yeah, I thought that for a minute.
I thought it was him. I never thought it was the creepy guy that they said to watch because I just felt like that was too obvious.
Yeah.
So I thought it was the girl's dad. And then the dad covered it up because it was an accident.
Yeah.
And Michael found out about that and he had a crush on the little girl and got mad and killed his dad so many years later because of his like childhood crush.
Mm-hmm. Like he found out that he covered for the dad or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But then when the dad, Sue, found out that he actually killed himself, I was like, okay, that kind of changed. And then I had kind of solidified, okay, I think he was actually covering for his own son. Because Michael, like, being adamant on buying the house and, like, no, we don't want this stuff out in the... Like, he just...
Yeah.
He was being sus.
Yeah, the combination of the tape being recorded over, the large overpayment for the house, I was like, all right, yep, that was him.
Yep, for sure. And at first I was like, okay, he's involved somehow. He knows something. Then, like I said, at the check at the bar, I was like, yep, you're done, dude. And then not liking the cop. He's trouble. He's trouble because he's gonna cap your ass. That's why he's trouble. That's when I was like, okay, he's uncomfortable around law enforcement. Guilty.
Yeah.
I always knew Beth was not the issue at all. I just thought she's just miserable in her life. I did make a note that I really thought there was something for everyone in this book that they could relate to, whether being like unhappy with how your life turned out, not having a good relationship with your child, falling out with siblings, addiction, family secrets, like dealing with death, family death. Like, I just felt like there was some sort of aspect that was relatable to everyone in the world in this book. Yeah. So I think she did a really good job with that.
Yeah, I think she does that in a lot of her books.
Yeah. Did you read the acknowledgments at the end that this was actually based on the community she grew up in and the house she grew up in?
I didn't hear that part. I listened to the acknowledgments where she said that like she had sent was just like thanking everybody and thanked all of the other authors who wrote good reviews for her and gave her good feedback. But yeah, I didn't hear that. That's cool.
She said thank you to the person that owns my childhood home that I knocked on your door one day and you let me like walk around. And yeah, so I guess she just, could you imagine just Jeneva Rose showing up on your doorstep and being like, hey, I used to live here, I want to write a book about here and I need to walk around and like get the vibe. Like pretty much that's what it sounded like happened. And they let her.
Yeah.
But it was based on her childhood community and everything.
Wow. That's wild.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it was honestly a great idea with the VHS. I mean, it was top tier creativity and, like I said, relatable. So I absolutely loved it. Let me see. Okay, here's this one. Okay, compare. What of her other books have you read besides One of Us is Dead? You've read The Perfect Marriage as well, right?
Mm-hmm. And you should.
Okay, you've read. Okay, that's the only one I haven't read. It said like this question I found was like compare them to her other novels. I feel like they're very different. All of her novels are very different.
They are and aren't. I think they all have a similar element of multiple point of views. You're hearing the story in a different sort of timeline. Like in One of Us is Dead, it's kind of going backwards, right? With all of the different characters.
It is going backwards.
And then,
which is a unique perspective. Yeah.
And then You Shouldn't Have Come Here is similar to The Perfect Marriage, but yeah, same multiple point of views, really good twists at the end to kind of wrap everything up. And she doesn't leave a lot of stuff unfinished. Like you don't have a ton of questions at the end, like why or how or who even.
Yeah, no, she does a good wrap up.
Yeah.
This book particularly, I liked the wrap up.
Yeah, that was nice.
The Perfect Marriage. I feel like The Perfect Marriage is more of a realistic time frame, but it does flash back.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, to like another time in their marriage and the affair.
Yeah, I almost said. Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
But we're getting a sequel to that one. Did you know that?
Yeah, The Perfect Divorce.
Perfect Divorce.
Yes, I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, me too. That book was one of the very first ones that fucking flabbergasted me.
Yeah.
Honestly, every book I've read by her at this point, I'm like, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all 5 stars.
No, like, Jeneva, you're a queen. And you're hilarious on TikTok. We love you so much. Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other notes you have?
That's gonna bug me. What else was in, like, all of her books? Oh, I feel like there's always kind of an outside party that you think could be the one doing it or could be involved somehow, but you're not sure.
To lead you off the track.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that.
So when the Nicole, the addict, got her note from the mom,
Oh shit.
how did you feel about that? Because I was like, oh my God, that is horrible when your child is suffering
I
from an addiction.
I didn't think what ended up happening, like that it was actually Michael's. I didn't think that. I thought that that was meant for her because just the way Beth implies how terrible she's been, that I think maybe that was the mom's attempt at tough love to get her to like be clean. Like that was where my head went. Like would that it probably would do the opposite,
Yeah.
I would think. But I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I was like,
Holy
wow.
shit.
And like that coupled with the fact that she said not to come back until she had a chip. And she was 1 day shy of her 60-day chip. I was like, ugh, that's
that was really sad. Yeah.
And if you know anybody with addiction, you know that like just because they get a 60-day chip doesn't mean they're clean. Doesn't mean they're good. Like, did you ever watch the Mila Kunis movie? Like one good week or one
Only girl left. Oh no.
Or Ben is Back
I don't know which
with not Sandra Bullock, but what is her name? She played Erin Brockovich in Pretty Woman. What is her name?
Oh, with a big smile, Julia Roberts.
Yes. But the Mila Kunis movie was the most kind of heart-wrenching addiction movie because like she tries so hard it's 4 good days. Like she's just trying to get 4 good days because you have to be clean for 4 days or 72 hours before they can start ketamine treatments, I think. And that's what she's trying to get into this ketamine clinic, and she can't make it. Like addiction is so powerful, especially when you're that far in. And she kind of describes that in this book. Like I can feel the needle going in. I can feel just the world kind of going away and the numbness. Like that's where a lot of people get addicted to that high because they can stop feeling the pain, the agony, the anxiety, stress, whatever that causes all of their problems, they think. Obviously that ends up actually being the addiction, but yeah, just the way it was described in this was, I feel, very impactful.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was a good perspective on that. And just to kind of hear the internal thoughts of what they're thinking, because I think from the outside, I haven't had anyone super close to me with this, so I can't really speak to it. But from my perspective, it looks like people are just being mean or whatever. But like hearing her intentions in her head is much different than like what comes out, if that makes sense. I think it was really good to have all the different perspectives. Also, that's what makes a good thriller, in my opinion. Because if you just have one perspective, you're not going to be able to figure it out.
Yeah. And I'm trying to. Who's the other one that does really good thrillers that has all the perspectives?
Lucy Foley.
Yeah. I was thinking of the guest list.
The guest list. Oh, that's another one that lives rent free in my head.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lucy Foley has The Hunting Party, Rock, Paper, Scissors, The Guest List, Midnight Feast. I've read all those.
Yeah.
My favorite of those was The Guest List.
Yeah, I didn't love The Hunting Party.
I don't remember much of it, to be honest.
I think that's why
I
didn't love it, is because I can't remember a ton of it. But like The Guest List, I can remember so much. And just the fucking magic that she has to create in her head. And I know she has to have okay, this person here and this person and this person and this person. And I'm just like, whoa.
All of the revelations in the last 3 chapters of that book, I could literally list right now, and they are still fucking mind-blowing to me. It's funny, 2 years ago today, I posted that story that I finished that book, and it was a 10 out of 10, and the disclaimer was, it may make you want to book a trip to Ireland. 2 years later, probably 100 and something, maybe 200 books later, and I'm still talking about that fucking book. That says something. That says something.
What other books?
Oh, there's this book I read called Daisy Darker. Oh, by Lucy Foley?
Yeah, The Book of Lost and Found. It's 2015.
I have not read that one.
Did you read The Invitation?
Uh-oh, Lauren. Did I read The Invitation? Let me go to my Goodreads.
Okay, so it looks like she has a couple, like, romance. Because The Invitation is kind of a romance.
Oh, The Paris Apartment! That one was good!
Oh, yeah. So good.
Yeah, sorry. I just got really excited. How does this book only have a 3.8 rating? Y'all are bitches on Goodreads. Okay, here's the ones I have not read: The Invitation or The Last Letter from Istanbul. Istanbul. This is just Sprite. I promise. I have not been drinking. I would love to be drinking, but I'm not. Also, the other night, we didn't tell you guys this. We all went to Topgolf for New Year's, and I was fucking thwacking it, though. Let's be honest. I was. And the next day, I wasn't really that hungover because I think I drank so gradually throughout the night. By the time I got home, I was sober because it was like 5 hours.
Forever.
And when I woke up the next morning, I was just kind of like tired, whatever. Midday, I'm like, fuck, why does my back hurt so bad? That thing was sore until like yesterday.
There was one swing I remember because as soon as you did it, you're like, oh, yeah, that hurt my back. I was like, God, we are so old. If fucking Topgolf throws our
and then
back
I was
out.
joking. I was joking around before my turn. I'm like, okay, gotta stretch, and then I do that shit, and I'm like, oh my God, yeah. No, the pictures. It is now a thing that every single one of our friends has an embarrassing picture of me. They all got pulled up that night, and it is actually hilarious. I don't get bothered by those things. I think they're hilarious. So, yeah, the ammunition for my birthday is just, it's there.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, we had a really good time. I don't know why we hadn't been doing that forever.
Every year,
because
yeah.
I think that was the cheapest Topgolf and New Year's experience I've ever had. So,
yes.
Okay, so there's only 3 books of Lucy Foley's we haven't read, but I don't know if they're thrillers or not. She posts videos of cocktails for her books. Okay, I can get behind this.
Yeah, so I read The Invitation. It's good. It's a lot more romance based than like mystery. Like there is a little bit of mystery, but not a ton.
Got it.
But yeah, I didn't know about this Last Letter from Istanbul or Book of Lost and Found, so I'll have to read those soon. Add those to my never-ending TBR.
Literally death by TBR. That's going to be on my headstone.
Yeah, I think Nicole posted a couple weeks ago. She was like, yes, I intend to read every book I've bought. And, you know, I'm on track to read every one by my 592nd birthday. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, mind your business. I do want to take one moment before we hop to talk about this book, You're a Mean One. By
yeah.
Okay, it said erotic horror. When I hear erotic horror, I think like, I don't know, maybe a thriller with some sex.
Okay.
No. It was 130 pages, so I finished it in like 30 minutes. But it was the wildest ride, and then by the end of the book, it did not end anything like what I thought. I literally was like, what the actual fuck? The Grinch, Max is a female. That's the Grinch's sex toy, pretty much.
Okay.
And Martha May is called May Martha. Okay. Anyways, they made it very Grinch themed, which like I'm all about. I love the Grinch, okay? But like this kind of ruins it for me. And I couldn't help but use the faces of all the people who play the Grinch because that's what you do.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people that see words on a page.
No.
Anyways, I got the super ick. I finished it. But if you guys ever want something to be like, what the fuck did I read? Read The Mean One, okay?
Like the Bradley Cooper gif.
Literally, hopefully that's not me in 3 weeks with Onyx Storm.
Oh my gosh. No way.
Yeah. That's going to be you at the end of Iron Flame.
She keeps sharing little snippets. I'm like, I can't look at them.
If you got it, it'd be so much worse.
Yeah, no.
Literally. You need to stop reading those or else it's going to spoil it.
I skip over it. I'm like, nope, can't.
Okay, good.
I'm like, I don't want to. I see enough TikToks and shit. It's like,
I
if,
know.
blah blah blah.
It's
I'm like,
everywhere.
I don't know who these people are.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll click together this week when I start it. So,
Are you
yay.
doing audio?
Yeah, there's no way I can get through all of them.
Audible? Yeah. I have 3 versions of Fourth Wing because I'm psychotic. I only have 1 version of Iron Flame, though. Onyx Storm, I just have 1 pre-order, but I'm sure whenever they come out with another one with an extended chapter from Zayden's point of view or some stupid shit, I'll buy.
Anything else?
I think that's all she wrote.
Okay. Go follow our socials. Be sure to subscribe to our Spotify and or YouTube. And share those videos, comment, like. It really helps us so that we can keep going. Feel like we're talking to more than just ourselves. Follow, I think I already said, follow our socials. Open Booked on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And then we will talk to you guys next week. What are we? Oh, we just said it. We're talking about
Fourth Wing, baby.
So yeah, we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.